You're listening to the Ballroom Network. The following program is intended for all audiences. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Goon Podcast with your hosts, Joe Mandel, the Goon, John Santucci, the Tooch, and the man with the plan, Adam Sham. We're bringing you the fantasy football knowledge that you need every single week.
Derrick Henry still going. He might go. 99 yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
Flushed out again all the way back. Turning the corner. Fires downfield. Caught. Touchdown. Only Mahomes turns what might have been a 15-yard sack into a 27-yard touchdown.
Saquon Barkley across midfield, down the sideline, staying in bounds, and Barkley takes it all the way. 68 yards for his first NFL touchdown. McCaffrey right up the middle, and he is gone for the touchdown. 58 yards. And this is to Thomas. He's gone. Touchdown Saints.
Okay, it's time for the easiest part of any coach's job, the cut. Now, while I wasn't able to cut everyone I wanted to, I have cut a lot of you. Steven, I like your hustle. That's why it was so hard to cut you. Congratulations, the rest of you made the team. Except you, and you.
God bless fantasy football. There are many things a man can do with his time. And this, better than those things.
All right, Fantasy Football Goon on the Barroom Network. Got Adam Sham here with the Tooch. Let's see. I thought Joe was going to take care of some of this stuff, and I forgot completely to load some picks here and stuff. So why don't you recap a little bit about the season so far, as far as just go by some like thoughts while I type in some of this stuff, teams, players, etc., surprises, disappointments.
Well, I'll tell you, so far this year seems to be the year of injuries again. That I feel like the last couple of years we got kind of lucky, and this year it's been just one guy after another. It feels like hurt all year. Yep. I know it's been the toughest year for me personally playing in a long time. I feel like I'm barely getting by everywhere.
Me too. I totally agree.
Yeah. There's been, some of the huge letdowns so far. There's been, besides the injuries, you got guys like Brian Thomas, been huge disappointment that people drafted in the first round, just killing teams, not doing anything all year. Terry McLaurin, another guy that's been a huge disappointment. And it's like some of those guys, even Bucky Irving at this point, it's like some of these guys were high draft picks that you're really counting on, and these teams haven't put them on IR, so a lot of fantasy teams have been stuck just sitting with them on their bench, not being able to do anything with them. You can't put them in IR because the team hasn't put them on IR, but they're out every week. And, it's just been a real killer from that point, because not only do you not have the player, but then a lot of times you don't have the bench spot either, because you have to hold the player, because you can't just cut those guys necessarily. But
yep,
I don't know. Guys like Brian Thomas, I'm like on the verge of cutting him on a team right now. I remember you did on one team, and I think you picked him back up maybe, but
I cut him again.
Yeah, now he's out again this week. It's like every time he's out, and then when he has played, he hasn't done anything. It's like, I don't know. It's been a rough season so far. I'm hoping here. We're already down to there's 3 weeks left here before the fantasy playoffs start, and so there's still time left in the regular season and the actual NFL season. Man, the fantasy season's wrapping up quick, so it's all or nothing right now these last 3 weeks. So there's a lot of streaming and stuff that is really crucial right now. And we still have bye weeks all the way up to week 14, which I think's stupid.
Yeah, it's been so challenging for me as well. Let's see. The bye weeks, the injuries combined, and then running backs by committee and giving up on players, which I seem to have a bad habit of giving up on players throughout the season.
Well, it makes it hard, like I said, especially when they get hurt and you can't put them on IR. And they end up missing 6 or 7 weeks like Bucky Irving has, it just clogs up your roster and you're stuck. And eventually you're like, I have to cut somebody.
Yep.
I'm going to have to cut the guy that's not playing right now.
There never seems to be enough roster spots, right?
No, they're never.
I mean, it's like, I think it's designed that way where it's like you have to cut guys, where if there was one more roster space, nobody would make any moves,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, I've been kind of roster locked on a couple of teams this year where I just can't hardly do anything because I have players I can't really drop, but
yep.
there's not any other options either. So it's been a rough year in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
How did tailgate go this morning? How does everybody feel about the game today with Rodgers out?
Disappointing, but we need that 8th win, get us closer to 11, which I think gets you in. And I think that's the general. Do we want to, last laugh over Aaron Rodgers? But you still have to kind of be a little leery of Mason Rudolph, who's 8-5-1 as a starter.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, he's not. Neither of him or Rodgers not mobile anymore. But Mason Rudolph has 4 carries a season for -1 yards. So it's just.
I don't think the quarterback there makes much difference in that game today for them.
No. Yeah, but the Bears defense, I'll tell you, it's not looking good, man.
Bad news.
They have to keep doing it with spare parts and whatnot,
Yeah, I mean, our top linebacker today is going to be the 4th-round rookie, right? And then some practice squad guys maybe after that, and then you still don't have Jalen, you still don't have Kyler. Again, I think Mason Rudolph and Mike Tomlin will figure out an easy game plan to have Jalen Warren and Pat Freiermuth, and these guys just kill them.
Exactly. Let's see. We don't have any questions in the chat yet, or do we? Hold on, let me see. Not yet, but Ozzie Trapillo starting at left tackle for the Bears.
Kind of think they need to get him there and just leave him there and let that play out.
I thought I had entered my picks last night, because I was down here doing my research and stuff in my office. And I was like, I just entered him on the sheet, and I thought Joe, and then Joe's like, he lost his voice, he can't make it. So that's where the Goon is, if everybody's wondering. The Goon, he has no voice for today. So, and I left it up to Joe because I thought he would take care of it, and it was my fault. I forgot that he was out and I didn't enter them. I was doing tailgate, so I couldn't. I should have told him, hey, can you enter the picks? Any fantasy games you're looking for?
Man, today the Patriots game. I think the Patriots and the Bengals. That's I think a lot of fantasy good in that game. Even with Jamar Chase out, I think the Patriots and Bengals game should be a pretty fun game. Yep. Curious to see what happens there with Ramondre Stevenson coming back. How TreVeyon Henderson gets the ball today.
Great point, because I have TreVeyon Henderson as a play today.
Because it's one of the best matchups you can have.
Yeah. Yep.
But we've seen how Vrabel favors Ramondre Stevenson, so I don't know. I think it's a mistake. I think they got to get that rookie the ball because Ramondre is not in the future of that team. So,
I'm gonna turn on my ticker here real quick for some prop plays, and you can take a look at that. And
yeah, let me check that.
I'm still typing things.
No, you're good.
So stupid.
I'm trying to get a list of all the games pulled back up here.
There we go. Got my prop plays going on the bottom there.
There we go. All right. Yeah, the T. Higgins, man, that's a killer one, I think, right there, especially with him out. Hunter Henry's my favorite start this week at tight end. It's the best matchup you can have for tight end versus Cincinnati, as we just talked about.
Yep.
Olave, he's still getting tons of targets there. That seems like a pretty good one. But Tyler Shuck seems like he's doing pretty good getting the ball around there. So Olave seems like an easy one. Zay Flowers.
Talk about a couple quarterbacks who may be like streamers. in some of these teams you mentioned on New Orleans and Arizona, just the quarterback positions, and they played
Yeah.
surprisingly fairly decent and have been able to be picked up during the bye weeks.
Yeah, like I said, that Tyler Shuck looked like he's playing pretty good right now. He looks like definitely, obviously, a better answer than Spencer Rattler is for them.
Yep.
He's on almost every waiver wire if you need a quarterback. And
I'm starting him in
Jacoby
one league.
And Jacoby Brissett's been lighting it up last week. I mean, he set the NFL record for completions last week.
2 touchdowns in every game so far.
Yeah, exactly. I think I picked him for 2 touchdowns on a prop bet today. I think I took that over 1.5 touchdowns.
Yep. I did too.
Who are they playing again? It's a fairly.
They're playing Jacksonville.
Jacksonville,
A little banged up at cornerback.
Right. Jacksonville defense was hot at the start of the year and has not been very good lately. So yeah, I think that's an easy 2 touchdowns there for Brissett. I think he was one of my starts, I think.
Let's talk a little bit about the Drake London injury and what you think might happen there.
Man, I picked up Darnell Mooney on a team, but Darnell Mooney has not been good this year, and Kirk Cousins has not been good yet. So, last year when they were together, Kirk Cousins fed Darnell Mooney a ton, and Darnell Mooney was top 20 wide receiver during that time.
Yep.
And he was every week getting it done. But this year, Kirk Cousins has not looked good so far. Maybe it's just rust, and he'll get it back together. We'll see, I guess. But I did pick up Darnell Mooney with Drake London out. I don't have the nerve to play him today. I don't think. I decided against it. I'm going to wait and see what happens with Cousins.
How about Kyle Pitts?
I mean, I would probably play Pitts over Mooney if I had to choose between the two today. I think maybe Pitts gets the quicker, shorter throws, maybe the more sure things, trying to get Cousins back in a rhythm. But I don't love either. I kind of want to see how Kirk Cousins does. I don't love any of the Falcons really, except for Bijan. You got to play him.
I know. I unfortunately in guillotine, I'm still alive. That's fortunate, but I have 3 Rams. I've got Pitts, Mooney, and Bijan. I don't want to start all of them, and Mooney's going to be the number 1 wide receiver, but I think Pitts might get more targets.
Right.
I just don't know. I have Wandale. I think they'll be in a negative game script. Detroit was kind of picking up guys for their DBs. Would you start Wandale over Mooney?
Yeah, for sure.
Or Pitts?
Yeah, I would for sure.
Okay. How about Juwan Jennings over Mooney or Pitts?
Who's that against? San Francisco's playing
Carolina. They're at home versus Carolina.
Yeah, I would, because I like Brock Purdy a lot today.
That's what I have. And I also picked up Zach Charbonnet. Unfortunately, I started Woody Marks on Thursday night, and he didn't do like 8 points.
If he could have gotten the end zone, man, it would have been a good game.
Yeah, he almost did. He got tripped up like the 3-yard line.
Yeah,
that was tough.
He's a pretty good player. He looks pretty good.
Yeah. I'm still going to type this stuff in here. Totally forgot.
Yeah, I think Wandale's a pretty good play today. I would easily do that over those Falcons guys, and I would Juwan Jennings too, because I think Brock Purdy has a good game.
Packers in Green Bay. Is that in Green Bay?
Or
Minnesota?
Good question. I do not. I want to say it might be in Green Bay.
Okay.
Let me look real quick. I think Josh Jacobs is out though.
Yeah. So I was going to say,
it's in Green Bay. It's in Green Bay.
Talk about that game a little bit. The Josh Jacobs injury and Jordan Love versus the Minnesota pass rush.
Yeah. So I like Christian Watson in that game today. I think, like you just mentioned, that pass rush. I think Jordan Love, we know he loves just getting rid of the ball off that back foot. I think he takes some of those deep shots to Christian Watson versus the rush and the blitz today. Watson's been like the number 1 leader in yards down the field on targets so far since he got back. And he's been the best player on their offense for like 2 or 3 weeks now. I think he had a couple touchdowns last week. So I like Christian Watson in that game today. I also like the Packers defense a lot versus J.J. McCarthy in that game. I think Parsons will get pressure on him. Seems like J.J. McCarthy's got a lot of it just in his head right now. And I think if Parsons gets to him early, they're going to stay in his head. He's never going to recover from that. So I think the Packers are going to win that game today fairly easily. I think the Vikings are kind of a train wreck right now. Um, that's really the only. I don't really feel good about playing any Vikings today. I mean, you got to play Justin Jefferson, but I don't feel great about it. And we've seen his frustration out there. Even last week, I thought he would bounce back, and by halftime, he was slamming his helmet on the
You
ground.
feel all right about Jordan Love? I mean, last week, Brian Flores blitzed Caleb Williams 78% of his dropbacks.
I think
Jordan Love, he's not that great against the blitz. That's what worries me. But I love Christian Watson. I have him inside in certain leagues and stuff. But
I think Jordan Love, you probably get a couple of touchdown passes, but it's probably low yardage. It's probably like a 200-yard, 2-touchdown type of thing. You're not going to have a high ceiling out of him. If you need the streamer and you need the floor of 15 points or whatever, he's probably going to get you that. But I don't think Jordan Love's very good, for one. I just don't think he's very good.
I don't either.
His fantasy success is predicated on a whole lot of 1 and 2 yard touchdown passes and touchdown passes inside the 5 yard line. And I just don't think he's very good. So, yeah, I think you probably get 2 touchdowns, but not a whole lot of yardage out of it. I mean, the Vikings defense has not been as good as, you thought it would be this year, but they're not bad either. Their secondary is pretty good.
Yep, I agree. All right. Fantasy prospects for Bears and Steelers, because neither team is very good at stopping the run, and then the Bears, of course, have some injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jalen Warren's going to have a huge game versus the Bears today, both running the ball and receiving the ball. With no linebackers, with backup linebackers and rookie linebackers there to cover him out of the backfield, I think Jalen Warren has a monster game there. I'm hoping Swift can kind of do the same thing, have a good game. I hope. Last week, I feel like they lost Swift in the passing game. He's been a huge part of them moving the ball in the passing game all season. And last week, he had 0 catches, and I don't even think he had a target. And I thought that was crazy because he's usually solid for 3 or 4 catches every game, and he usually racks up good yardage on them as well. So, I hope Swift can do the same thing like Jalen Warren, but I think Jalen Warren's probably going to have the biggest fantasy game today in that. I wouldn't be surprised if DK Metcalf gets a touchdown either in this one. He's been a very big disappointment most weeks so far, but I think today could be a touchdown game for him. I don't expect Caleb to have big numbers. I'm not playing Caleb anywhere if I have him. Yeah, I don't expect Caleb to have big numbers. I think if the Bears have success, it's going to be running the ball today with Swift and hopefully a little more Monungai mixed in today, I hope. I would love to see more Monungai runs and more Swift passing.
The last time the Bears had a favorable running matchup, they played the Giants. Yeah. And the first 8 plays of the game, 7 were passes.
Yeah, they came out throwing.
They cannot do that today.
No, exactly. That was the most confusing thing. And that was coming off the Monungai 175-yard game.
It's like they have to forget they can't forget the run game today,
Exactly. And I think Holston Loveland needs to be a big part of it again today. I think they need to get Loveland involved again, too.
Well, Big T picked up Yosevas and Mechie. It's funny that the Jets are starting 2 wide receivers partially. And they picked up Adonai Mitchell in a trade. And then John Mechie. So those 2 guys are looked to be the starters with Garrett Wilson out. Do you like either of these guys, Mechie or Adonai Mitchell?
I like Mechie. I've always been a fan of John Mechie since he came out. He's just he had I think it was like a cancer he was dealing with coming out of college, and then he got hurt when he got back from that, and then he got hurt, and so he's had a rough start to his career, and he's gotten cut from the Texans, I think, and ended up here at the Jets, and I was happy to see him showing up last week. I think he scored a touchdown, didn't he, last weekend? I think so.
Yes, and you and I both have Yosevas in our sleepers, which we'll get to. And I finally done the things, the banners. Unfortunately, I thought it was all done, man. All right, quarterback starts. Oh, God.
Yeah, you got to go with Drake May today versus the Bengals as the top start, in my opinion, at quarterback.
Yep, I agree. I've got him in there too. You also have Brock Purdy and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, guys that, possibly could even be on the waiver wire. Brock Purdy's probably not, but you never know. He was on the bench for a long time this year, so And Jacoby Brissett has probably been picked up over the last 2 weeks, but again, he may not have been in shallower leagues. So those guys
Yeah.
might be available, both with great matchups. Jacoby Brissett, like I said, he just proves how bad Kyler Murray is, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
they're a completely different team when Kyler Murray's not out there. Like, they do not
Yep.
move the ball like that when he's playing.
They're feisty with Brissett, man.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not afraid. He's kind of like Joe Flacco. He's not afraid to throw it anywhere. He'll throw it anytime, anywhere. Just get him on the field, and he's happy.
Yep.
So I like that today versus Jacksonville. Like I said, their defense hasn't been what it started out as this year, so it's a great matchup. Drake May versus the worst defense in the league, pretty much. So you got to love that, and he's playing at almost MVP caliber level this year. So Brock Purdy has most of his weapons there. Juwan Jennings, George Kittle back, Christian McCaffrey. I like that match. I think it's Pearsall back too. I think Pearsall's back as well.
Back.
Yeah.
And
I like the fact that Carolina's playing so feisty right now as well, that they're going to put up a good fight in that game and force the 49ers to keep going. I think they're not going to get out ahead too far ahead. I don't think. I think it should be a good game.
I'll tell you, I had a lot of yard work yesterday, Adam, and we have like an evergreen out in the front yard, and we put Christmas lights on it,
Right.
My wife and I were working on that, and I was like, why does our evergreen look so sad? And I was like, looked like there was like a maple or oak, 7-foot sproutling, growing inside of the tree.
Oh, wow.
So I got my chainsaw out, and I was like, that's just a little tree. I don't need my gloves. I kicked back and got me right on the knuckle.
Oh, man.
So I got a little bit of a cut, man. It's a little bloody.
Jeez.
After the show, my wife will clean it up and stuff. But, always wear your gloves when you're using the chainsaw. Don't be lazy like me.
Yep. Know your tool safety.
You know how they kick back sometimes, especially on that young wood.
Yep.
Let's get over to my little quarterback stats here. I also have Brock Purdy and Drake May. I also have Jared Goff versus the Giants, man.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
I mean, his prop his prop today is for 3 touchdown passes instead of the normal 2. So it starts at 3, over 2.5. So look for Jared Goff to get some. And I think what's the kid's name on the Giants? The quarter, Jackson Dart. Is he back today?
No, he's out again.
Unreal. So
he's still out. It's just Jameis again today.
Oh, Jameis. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jameis, you like Jameis with Wan'Dale Robinson still?
Yeah, I do. I like Jameis. I like Darius Slayton. I think's healthy and going to play today. Whoever it was in the chat a minute ago was talking about the wide receivers. I think if Slayton's available on your waiver wire, he's a great pickup.
So could you see this being like Lions get out to like a 2-3 touchdown lead and Jameis having to throw it today?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. And the Lions are eager to score coming off that game versus Philly where they struggled so badly. They're going to come out. Dan Campbell's going to want to put points up.
No Sam Laporta in this game. He's out for the season.
Right. I love Jameson Williams in that game.
Jamo and Amon-Ra and Jahmyr Gibbs. Love Jahmyr Gibbs' touchdown prop today, anytime touchdown.
Since Dan Campbell took over as the play caller there like 3 weeks ago, Jameson Williams has been top 15 wide receiver every week.
Finally.
Exactly. Dan Campbell loves him and wants the ball in his hand.
And they should, because he's so damn fast. He reminds me a lot of Devontae Smith. It's the same kind of situation. You have A.J. Brown, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then the other wide receivers, Devontae Smith and Jamo. And they're similar players. They're slight build and super fast. So, it's great to see Jameson Williams. Now, the tight end is going to be taken over for Laporta. Any thoughts on him? I think it's Brock Wright.
I'll say Brandon or Brock Wright or something. Wright. He's popped up every now and then in games. I've seen him even play a little bit. He seems to be all right.
He was getting a little play when Laporta was out there too. So
I think he's it's fine if you need to play somebody. There's no other options. Like I said, they have so many other weapons. I don't know that he'll be heavily involved, but he'll feel a need for them for sure on third down and stuff like that. He'll probably feel a need for them, but there's probably a better option out there.
All right, my running backs, I got Travion. I don't know how it's going to go with Ramondre back, but Cincinnati just terrible against the run. Another team that's terrible against the run, the Jets. Man, get
Oh yeah,
Derrick Henry in the lineup, man. 100. They're looking at 100 yards today for Derrick Henry. And
yeah,
then the other one is like you got Tyrod Taylor out there, who's a little more of a check down. If you're playing PPR, like Brees Hall today, if they get behind, you figure it's going to be Hall out there for passing
yeah.
downs out of the backfield, and I like him to get you some fantasy points. Try not to get the obvious ones here because you're obviously starting your big guns, and then it looks like Josh Jacobs will be out right for the Packers. So Emmanuel Wilson, pretty good start. I mean, the Vikings have tightened up against the run a little bit, but he's a big back. Can also catch a little bit out of the backfield. I think he's a good running back too today, Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a good, decent play there, or running back too. Like you said, he's been with the team for 2 or 3 years now as well. He's not new. He knows the system. They trust him. I mean, he's been getting 4 or 5 points right now, even with Jacobs playing. So I think with getting all the work, he's a good chance for a touchdown. Like he's a very solid play. He was
All
the
right.
hot waiver wire guy this week. So
Yeah.
now's your chance to use him if you picked him up.
You got your running backs. Chase Brown, I love today. I've got a prop out here for him too for over receiving yards today. I think especially if Cincinnati, if this becomes a shootout, I love Chase Brown. He's been great out of the backfield receiving too.
Yeah, since Flacco's been quarterback and New England, as good as New England is against that defense, New England's going to score points. So, yeah, Flacco's going to be throwing, probably a whole bunch of dumping it off to Chase Brown.
Yep.
He's been having great weeks the last 2 or 3 weeks. And Ken Walker, last week was one of my sits. This week he's a start for me, a bounce
He's
back
got a
start.
groin. It popped up on the injury report with the groin, but
yeah, they
we'll
said
see.
he's good to go, though. He's going to play today. It's a great matchup versus Tennessee. They're in the bottom 3 of run defenses in the league.
Yep.
Ken Walker, I thought was a bad matchup for him last week versus the Rams, and he ended up having one of his best games of the year.
Yeah.
And then they said this week that he's earned more touches, that he's earned the chance to have more touches, especially down inside the 10-yard line. So,
well, speaking of running backs versus the Rams, the Buccaneers are playing the Rams tonight in Sunday Night Football.
was that the night game? Nice. That's a good game.
That's a good game. The Buccaneers, of course, Mayfield has kind of struggled recently. Thoughts on Rams have the best run defense in the NFL. Thoughts about the running backs of Tampa Bay with Bucky Irving out?
Well, I mean, they say they're going to give Sean Tucker a lot of work again, like he got last week. So, as far as on the ground, it's probably going to be more of that. If you have him, you can probably play him, though it is a tough matchup. But Rachaad White hasn't had a good game in about a month, I think.
Yep.
But I think the Rams are probably going to be able to score on Tampa, throwing the ball. Stafford's probably going to be able to move the ball in the air. Tampa also has a great run defense with Vita Vea in the middle. So they're probably going to have trouble getting Kyron going up the middle or anything like that. So Stafford's going to throw, which in turn leads to them putting points on the board, I think. And so Rachaad White may end up being a decent play out of the backfield, catching a few balls. He might get 4 or 5 catches on this.
Yeah, Tucker's a good receiving back, too, out of the backfield.
I don't really know if he is or not, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know how well he is.
He was coming out of Syracuse, was one of the better receiving backs coming out. I don't know whether the Buccaneers view him that way, but he is a good running back out of the backfield, or pass-catching running back.
Right. They say Bucky's going to be back next week, but I don't know. We'll see about that. I've kind of been skeptical about that for a few weeks now.
All right.
And Judkins, I think, has a great matchup versus Vegas. I think the only way the Browns are going to move the ball is if he does it for them. So I think it's going to kind of be quantity there where it's going to build up and eventually he's going to get in the end zone. And I think that's going to be a pretty low-scoring game right there. A couple of defensive battles there.
Quinshawn touchdown is in the books today.
I look at that game's kind of Myles Garrett versus Max Crosby, basically.
Yep, low scoring, I think, too. Yep. Also have a prop play for that game. Shedeur Sanders over 15.5 passing completions in that game.
Completions?
Now, 15, 16 passing completions in an NFL game. It's just too low. Now, the other thing that could happen with that is if he gets pulled for Dylan Gabriel, if he absolutely sucks. But
he was 4 for 16 last week.
Right. So that's why the number
at that rate he's going to need to throw 64 times too.
He didn't take any snaps though during the week. This
Yeah,
year he's had
that's true. That's true.
all the first team reps.
Yeah, supposedly this is like the first time he has.
This is his first time. Las Vegas is not the best. Sorry, are they play? They're playing.
Yeah, they're playing
They're playing
Vegas.
Las
It's
Vegas. Not the
it's a
best.
good matchup for him.
It's a good matchup because their cornerbacks absolutely suck for Las Vegas. So
He's got to get the ball out of his hand. That's the thing. He holds the ball longer than anyone in the
little too
world, and
long.
Max Crosby's going to be all over him.
and this is his chance too to to show the NFL that he belongs.
Mhm.
So if he could get 16 catches, I like that little prop, man. It ain't bad.
Yeah, no, it's a low number for sure.
It's such a low number. I mean, you're looking at like 19-20 for standard NFL quarterbacks. So I mean, 15,
Oh, yeah.
16. It's like, All right, wide receivers for Adam. I see you got the two players I was talking about earlier, Devontae Smith and Jamison Williams. And
Yeah,
even
and the
Christian
other one
Watson
we
is
already
a similar
Watson,
build.
yeah,
And
speed
these are like-
guys that get
yeah.
down the field, all speed guys that get deep and can cause big 40-yard plays or more. I think Devontae Smith's just so underrated at that, man.
Oh, yeah.
He almost has a deep touchdown every single game. It's just a matter if Hurts misses him or not.
Yep. Or someone accidentally trips him up.
Yeah, and then this one's versus Dallas secondary. We know it's a great matchup. It's about as good as it gets, the Dallas and Cincinnati.
Yep.
So I love Devontae Smith to have a big game today. And Christian Watson, we already talked about that. And Jamison Williams, yeah. All the great matchups, all with the speed to kill. I think they all have big games.
All right, I got a question from Ryan here. Good morning, Atlanta or Philly defense today? Played Atlanta last week, thinking they would smash 4 points. Atlanta is playing the Saints, right?
I can't remember.
We're on the road at New Orleans, I think. Right?
Atlanta. Yeah, at the Saints.
On the road at the Saints.
Yeah,
So fairly favorable matchup as far as how they're ranked.
Philly's at Dallas, so
higher ranked fantasy point team is
kind of if you just need like a safe play, I would play Philly. If you're looking for possible upside, I would play Atlanta. If you're like the underdog in your matchup,
yeah. It's Dallas is going to put some points up, but I mean, maybe they don't put a lot of points up.
Exactly. Maybe they don't. I don't know that they will today. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the Cowboys today, really.
Yeah.
You got to remember that first game of the season. Remember Jalen Carter went out in the first play of the game, spit on him to start the game.
Yep.
Javonte Williams had a big game. I think Javonte Williams is going to have a bad game today. I think he's a dud this week.
Philly, Atlanta gets like no pass rush pressure at all. That's the thing that worries me. They don't have no pass rush.
No, and their defense goes from one extreme to the other from week to week. It seems like they have a great week and then they look horrible the next week. So
I'm gonna stick with Philly. I don't know. I mean, I think they're probably getting about 5 points from either of these defenses.
Exactly. I think Philly's about a safe 5 points is exactly what I had in mind.
Yep, I agree with that. All right, Tooch's receivers. I got T. Higgins versus New England. When Jamar's out, he feasts. You know, I know he may be matched up against Christian Rodriguez, who's a good cornerback, but T. Higgins, I think, will be fine against him. T. Higgins is a big body, good route runner, and he's just so long. You know, he's got a big catch radius. I think he'll be okay. I look for him to get 6 catches today.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good for PPR. It's a good little floor right there. If he gets some yardage and touchdown, even better. And then I also has JMO. Michael Wilson, I don't see how you could ignore him with Marvin Harrison Jr. out. I mean, like, he had 185 yards receiving last. Yeah, like, I don't know how many catches he had, like 20 targets last week, whatever. You got to get him in the lineup today, I think.
That was the most catches other than that game Chase had with Flacco, the 16-catch game. This was the second best. 15 catches and like 20 targets or something, yeah.
If you picked him up, you know, and Jacksonville, they have a good pass rush. But with a veteran like Jacoby, I think he'll be okay. I don't like their cornerbacks. I like their pass rush. I don't like their cornerbacks. Jacksonville has an elite run defense. They're one of the better run defenses out there. New England and the Rams are also really good run defenses. The Lions are fantastic against the run. All right. Let's see if we got any more questions. Stuck between Philly and Baltimore. And Baltimore's playing the.
Oh, I'm playing the Ravens
I
versus
would play the
Jets.
Ravens, versus the Jets. Yep.
Jets offense is bad. I mean,
in agreement there. All right, hitting up the tight ends here. I've got Hunter Henry against the worst defense against the tight end. I might still have some worries about that because I'm trying to balance Kyle Pitts versus Hunter Henry and Guillotine. I'm going with Henry. I just you've got Drake May or you've got Kirk Cousins.
right.
I look at it that way.
Seems like every tight end scores versus Cincinnati. So
Seattle's the second worst team against the tight end. So hey, if Cam Ward is playing from behind, he's going to throw. He's thrown it a lot this season. But Chig, he's not really a tight end, man. He's just a big receiver. He's like 6'4", 235. He's out there can run.
He's a super athletic freak.
Yeah. So I like Chig today if you're looking for a tight end. And then Kyle Pitts with the Drake London out, I think you can't ignore that. You know what I'm saying? You also have Hunter Henry. You've also got Dallas Goedert and Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, I've talked about Goddard all season. He just seems to me the most consistent target in Philly's offense.
Great
and
player.
Obviously versus Dallas, it's just a great matchup for him.
He's out there all the time, too.
He plays almost every snap of the game. He's out there, and Hurts looks for him. He's a crucial part of their offense. So, And then I'll take Freiermuth. He's only had like one good game all season, but we mentioned the Bears being depleted at linebacker and the secondary. Yeah, it's Mike Tomlin's going to try to take advantage of that, and easy passes to Freiermuth are probably going to be the answer to that. And Mason Rudolph and Freiermuth have played together for years. They know each other. Rudolph's going to look for him. I think he's a great
go 12
pickup
and
off the
13
waiver wire.
personnel.
Yeah. If you need a waiver wire tight end, I think Freiermuth's the guy.
Two tight ends, a lot. Three tight ends sometimes. So that's a good call. Duds today, the sits. I think we got some of the same ones here too.
Yeah, I worry a lot about Daniel Jones versus the Chiefs today. I think the Colts are going to have a rough game there. I think the Chiefs are going to win and try to get right back in the playoff race there. Javonte Williams, I mentioned, versus Philadelphia. Jalen Carter wasn't there in the first game of the year when Javonte Williams had a good game. I think that's going to make a difference today with Carter out there.
Yep.
And Rome Odunze, I worry about him getting Jalen Ramsey all day versus Pittsburgh. Is really the only thing I worry about with Rome is that Jalen Ramsey has been playing really well this year for his age. He's playing really well still.
Yep.
And he's the strength of that defense right now outside the TJ Watt on the line. So I like I don't like Rome Odunze versus Pittsburgh today. I'm worried about that.
Okay. I kind of like Rome today, but Javonte is going to be tough for him. If they pass to him, I think he's got an okay floor. It's just they haven't been passing to him recently, but he's an excellent receiver out of the backfield. It's a tough matchup. My sits, I got Tyrone Tracy versus the Detroit Lions. I know he had an okay game last week, but the Detroit's defense is a lot tougher. And then
Tyrone Tracy doesn't have a single touch inside the 10-yard line.
There you go.
Every time they get to the 10, they take him out and Singletary comes in. All right.
Every time. Michael Pittman versus the Chiefs. He's going to be matched up against what's the guy's name? McDuffie.
Yeah, McDuffie.
He'll be matched up against McDuffie.
I like that. I almost put him down too.
Yeah, and then Daniel Jones outdoors and on the road, it's not a good thing.
It's a recipe for disaster, I think, for Daniel Jones today.
I dropped him in a few leagues and went with I would play Jacoby Brissett over him today.
Oh yeah.
I know some people. I have Joe Burrow sitting waiting. He's not active today. But I mean, I have him waiting, and I've had to go with Daniel Jones for most of the year. That's been pretty good. But now it's just like, oh, God, he's on the road. He's got tough matchups. It's just like he just hasn't been doing much. And then I've got Jordan Love versus Minnesota. I'm like, if Brian Flores blitzes 78% of the time, I just don't like Jordan Love today. I could be wrong, though. I mean, they could throw. Sometimes you could throw on the on the Vikings.
You're right. Brian Flores disguises his blitzes and mixes it up so much that Jordan Love's he likes to just, like I said earlier, just throw it off that back foot, and
Yep.
he throws some horrible interceptions. I've been
Horrible
saying for
balls.
years, like they'll never win a Super Bowl because of his interceptions he throws. They'll never get that far with him.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Sleepers. I got Aaron Jones in a revenge game at Green Bay. He's been getting all the touches.
Yeah.
You know, I love Jordan Mason, but I mean, Aaron Jones is a bigger playmaker. He catches the ball. He almost had a touchdown against the Bears last week. We just stopped him short of the goal, on that wheel route.
Yeah.
And then Andre Yosevas versus New England with Jamar Chase out. Yosevas is a big receiver. He's like 6'4", 210. This is a guy that's got some size and he can run too. We'll see if they focus on T. Higgins. Yosevas could be a sleeper. I know some people picked him up. They're starting him. And then I thought Ken Walker was going to be out, but so I had Zach Charbonnet in there. But they just love Charbonnet on the goal line. It's like, I don't know how many touchdowns he has, but they just love him on the goal line. I like trying to think of guys. You also have Yosevas.
Yeah, I got him. I got Bryce Young as sleeper quarterback today. So we saw him throw up like 400 yards last week in a shootout. And I think there could be that kind of game again versus the Niners today. So if you're desperate for a quarterback today, I think he's one you can pick up probably and use. Their offense is really moving the ball pretty good right now. And then I'll take Tajay Spears today.
Negative game script.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be playing from behind. I think they're going to be dumping it off a bunch to him. I think he's going to be on the field way more than Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard would be on my sit list, actually. He would have been a good one to put down. Tajay Spears, I think, is a great play. Maybe not a huge ceiling, but like you said in the PPR format earlier, he's going to get you some targets and probably maybe 40, 50 yards and 5-6 catches, I bet, and pretty safe play.
Yeah, I agree. I like Ty. I've got him in a few. I fell in love with the Woody Marks versus Buffalo, and he didn't do much, because you saw Sean Tucker go nuts against him. And then, they fed Nick Chubb almost as many times as Woody, even though Woody's more explosive. And then Woody had a little PCL. Looked like he tweaked his knee a little bit in that game. And, after that, they kind of went to Chubb a little bit more. And Woody couldn't really get going after he tweaked his knee. But, I wish I had started like Jalen Warren or, Tajay Spears instead now, or Zach Charbonnet. But it was a Thursday night game. So
I'm just having nightmares about Jalen Warren just running through the Bears today and just like a bowling ball.
Player.
Just a bowling ball and the Bears can't tackle him. It's
He's
just
really good player. Another one I would like to include in there is Xavier Legette, who gets a lot of red zone targets.
Yeah.
And you can
I almost put him down too. He was almost on my list.
When he's not tearing the skin off of a squirrel and cooking it for dinner, he's torching cornerbacks in the red zone. And San Francisco does not have good cornerbacks you can throw on them. That's why I think you were right when you said San Francisco-Carolina game might be a little closer than people think.
Xavier Legette, this is his second year, right? His second season. Yeah, and he was a pretty high draft pick, if I recall, second or third round or something. I don't remember.
He was like a second round.
Yeah, I think second round.
I don't know, end of the first or second round.
So I think he's one of those guys like you can't really forget about because he may have only scratched the surface still because they have not had good quarterback play his whole career thus far. And you see Bryce Young breaking out and you see Xavier Legette having better games. So that's one of those things. You got to be patient with him. I have him on the dynasty team and, he's not going anywhere for me right now.
Their first round pick on the Panthers is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he's I did not expect him to be this good. I'm talking about Tedero McMillan, and he is a smooth route runner, and he's big and long.
He's got size, he's got size.
He's a decent route runner, man, really good route runner, actually, and knows how to get open, and if it's a 50-50 ball, I mean, like more times than not, he's coming down with it, and you ain't. He's just he's a really smooth player. We might be talking about him next year as a end of the first, second round draft pick next season.
I think he could have a Brandon Marshall-like career. I think he's that kind of like a Brandon Marshall type receiver. big
The
and
only
just
thing,
dominant and can control where his body all the time and can block you out and just
yep. The only thing that's holding him will be quarterback play.
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean with Leggett. Like the more Bryce Young gets comfortable, the better they're going to be. Both those guys.
Imagine Ted on the Bills or the Chiefs. Holy shit!
Oh
You know,
man, the Bills would kill for a wide
you know,
receiver
or the
like that right
Ravens.
now.
The
The
Ravens,
Bills got
Bills, and
Keon
Chiefs.
Coleman though.
I know, but he sucks.
I know
He's
it's horrible.
yeah.
Didn't they
It's
use a
just,
first round pick on him too? Wasn't he a first round pick or
I
second
think so.
round?
First
It
or
was
second
first or
round
second.
pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was a top pick.
yeah, and they're just hurting at wide receiver. You know, they need some talent there at the wide receiver position. The defense is not good. I know there's a lot of people's Super Bowl pick. You know, it was the Bills. You know, to make it
Oh
to the
yeah.
Super Bowl. You
Well, they have
know,
like the worst run defense. That's why Woody Marks looked like a great play because their run defense is at the bottom of the league. And
terrible.
they have nobody. Josh Allen really has nobody to throw to except Khalil Shakir is his best receiver. And
Yeah,
he's a
Dalton
good player, but he's
Kincaid.
not a number one go to guy.
Yeah, Kincaid is a good, but he's injured.
Yeah, he's missed 2 games now.
Yep, and Dawson Knox is not really that good. All right, any last thoughts? We might as well get out of here. So you got to get to work, and I'm going to go watch some game, and I got leaves to rake after the Bears game. Yeah,
Right.
16 bags of leaves over this weekend. You know,
Oh,
girls,
geez.
me and the girls.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I still got to clean the gutters too.
Right.
That's
I
like
did that last week.
Yeah, it's like 58 degrees here today, so it's a good day. I just I'm old, man. I'll be 58 next year, so it's like I gotta get up there, and it's like hard for me to get up on the ladder now. My feet
Oh
hurt.
man, you
Up
go
there.
up and down, and you'll be sore the next day. It'll wear
I
you
know.
out.
I was up there fixing some Christmas lights too yesterday, and I was like, I want to get up here and do the gutters too. My wife was like, we all had haircuts
Yeah.
yesterday, so I was like, I didn't have enough time to get the gutters. You know, I'm just gonna throw it down in the front. I got to nuke all the ragweed. You know,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't know how it is in Oklahoma, but man, Iowa, we got so many ragweed and foxtails. It's just like the allergies have been killing me. My voice is so rough.
Yeah, we've been through that. It's not as bad right now here, but
yeah,
we do all the Christmas stuff. We do all the Christmas light stuff on Black Friday, usually the day for Thanksgiving. We get out there and do it all and put all the lights up and decorations, and so that's what we'll be doing this week.
Yeah, as soon as that first frost comes, it'll stop that ragweed pollen, and my allergies should go. And we haven't had a frost yet.
Right.
You know, the weather's been nice here in Iowa because we're, because you're Oklahoma. It's like the Gulf Stream, cap. It's higher in my part of the country, our part of the country. You know, we get more Gulf Stream air, and then Chicago and Illinois, they have the lake where it's lower. Lower Canadian air sucked down over there, but. Iowa moved out here. We're farther north than Chicago. We've had warmer weather every year I've lived here than Chicago. So Iowa's just warmer.
It's been warm here too.
Iowa's like we're the number 1 produce producer, number 2 produce producer behind California because of the soil and the growing conditions. Throughout the year.
Yeah, you get longer time of the year to use it.
We got people here that got peach trees, apple trees, pear trees, cherry trees.
Nice.
It's like the Iowa soil's like one of the richest in the country.
Cool.
It's an odd combination. You wouldn't think for a state in the north to be this climate friendly. But well, have a good day, Adam. I'm sure I'll be talking with you by text.
Yeah, you too.
In our chat, FFB Goon chat about our Bears. We're like, God damn it, they're not running the ball.
Yeah, it'll be the next 3 hours of us being negative until the last 5 minutes.
Shit, we need a tight end to help on TJ.
Yeah.
Shit. All right, brother.
It'll be another stressful day, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Last minute victory, probably steal it in the last 2 minutes.
I know that's their thing now, and I hate it, but
I know
that's not sustainable against good teams. So
my blood pressure too. It's like
I'm dreading the Black Friday game versus Philly.
I know. All right, brother.
All right, take it easy, everybody. Good luck.
All right, bye-bye.